Previously on Spoiled. What do y'all think of my outfit today? I'm burning! I couldn't help but wonder, with lots of fun and serving of looks in every video. And then, well, he ghosted me. Hello bratties, I'm Odjuani and welcome back to the Spoiled channel. Currently we're facing a problem with TV and streaming services. TV shows have been getting cancelled left and right, and the ones that get renewed, they take 2 to 3 years to get a new season. People online have been complaining about the constant cancellations of TV shows across streaming services, adding to the fact that we are not getting 22 episodes from TV shows anymore, which used to be the standard number for episodes per season. So what's up with that?
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
In the US TV schedule, fall is the season when new shows premiere on TV and new seasons of familiar TV shows are being launched. This tradition is originally tied to the start of the model year for new cars. Since advertisers were looking for ways to promote their new cars coming out of that year, the fall schedule was created specifically for that. And from then on, fall will be the primetime television season, starting from September, the beginning of fall, until the end of winter or the beginning of spring. It also helped that during fall and winter, people were more likely to stay at home, therefore watch more TV. In the 1950s, sitcoms such as I Love Lucy and Leave It to Beaver had 30-something episodes to cover this time period. However, during the 80s, the number of episodes for TV shows got shorter, with famous sitcoms such as Cheers and The Golden Girls having 20-something episodes during their run. And from then on, 20-something episodes have become the standard that we know to this day. But now the number of episodes has gotten even shorter.
My purpose in life is to witness this moment.
Streaming services have been blamed as the one who started this trend of just giving their audience 13 or 10 or just simply 8 episodes per season. But really short seasons are not uncommon for other countries. Like in the UK, where you have shows such as Sherlock, where you literally just get 3 episodes per season. But by the US standard, the seasons of TV shows have been getting shorter and shorter even before streaming services became popular. According to the data shown in an article by The Ringer titled Mourning the Loss of TV Season, the number of episodes of TV shows have been getting shorter since 2003. The shortening of episodes began with cable since they relied on subscriptions rather than advertisements. The famous cable network HBO, for example, started off airing shows that mostly ran for 13 episodes per season, and now the number of episodes has been getting shorter, with their most recent one, House of Dragons, with only 8 episodes on the 2nd season this year. And the same thing applies to streaming services. Netflix is a great example of this, with its shows having 13 or 10 or even just 6 episodes per season, ever since they began launching their own original shows. And that's because they were most focused on feeding content to the audience as much as possible with a large amount of films and TV shows on their catalog. Short seasons, more shows. Like you just watch one show with 6 episodes on Netflix and then Netflix recommends you another show with 6 episodes. And right there, bam, you just watch 2 shows in 2 days.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Now, that is not to say that there are no shows with the standard 22 episodes per season. Abbott Elementary, a great show by the way, is coming out with 22 episodes this season. But the amount of shows with 13 or 6 or 8 episodes per season is bigger than the amount of shows with 22 episodes per season nowadays. And some may say that 22 episodes per season is a bit unnecessary and a lot for some shows, and I definitely agree that some shows would definitely benefit from the 10 or 8 or even 15 episodes per season. Pretty Little Liars, as much as I love this, wacky little show of mine, I do think that they would have, been way better with only 10 or 8 or 15 episodes per season. They would definitely have less plot holes and unnecessary storylines. And that's a problem with most shows that had 22 episodes per season. One of my favorite shows of all time, Gossip Girl. I noticed that they had this problem a lot. Like the seasons would start off really good. Like they would have great plot. The characters would be facing, new challenges. But then as like the season, was reaching its end, things would like kind of get boring or not really make sense, or the character development that they were, that we were, hoping they would get kind of got lost. And that's a problem that the seasons overall actually have. Like the first 3 seasons, in my opinion, are my favorite ones, are the best ones. But the last few seasons are kind of like where the show goes, downhill. The plot is just all over the place, and like there's memory loss, there's no character development, there's characters coming back from the dead. And that's not just Gossip Girl. Like a lot of shows also face that as well. And that's why shows with short seasons are less likely to lose the plot, because they don't have like a giant amount of episodes to, lose the plot with. And another criticism that shows with 20-something episodes face is the amount of fillers. Filler episodes are episodes that are not related to the main plot. They are usually skippable. The term is mostly used for anime, when writers would write episodes with stories that weren't originally in the manga. And filler episodes get a bad reputation because they're there just to fill time. And in some cases that's definitely true. Some shows have a bunch of skippable episodes, but I feel like overall filler episodes are a great way for writers to showcase their creativity by exploring the characters' motives and personalities and exploring the universe that the show has created. In an article from The Collider titled "The Biggest Complaints About Filler Episodes Are Missing the Point," written by Michael John Petty, he says, "By placing these characters in situations or circumstances that they otherwise might not find themselves in, we explore other facets of who they are while they celebrate grief, struggle, or, well, fill in the blank." Filler episodes fill the television space with rich character drama that reminds us why we started watching the show in the first place. They expand on that love and devotion by giving us something different from the usual. And that's why I love shows with 20-something episodes. It gives us a chance to not only spend more time with the characters that we love, but it also gives us a chance to see them in a different light. Like I remember when Pretty Little Liars had this episode that was set in this noir film style and aesthetic. Like the episode overall was very pretty much skippable. Like you can skip and still get the gist of the overall season and the main plot. But I feel like we could still appreciate what they were trying to do with the episode. Like they were trying to set the girls in a different, aesthetic and vibe, just for, the vibes. Like the vibes were vibing. I love this episode. Like it might not be their best, but again, I appreciated what they were trying to do. They were trying to give us something different, just like they usually did with their Halloween episodes as well. TV shows like Community, Buffy, Breaking Bad, and Mad Men are great examples of how filler episodes can be brilliant. TV shows used to give us not only random filler episodes, but also Halloween episodes, Christmas episodes, Thanksgiving episodes. They even created their own holidays sometimes. Like Parks and Recreation had Valentine's Day, which ended up becoming a real holiday. And Valentine's Day is basically, Valentine's Day, but focused on female friendships. And that's pretty awesome. Like people in real life actually celebrate that as well. And that's a problem with shows with short seasons. Like they don't give us holiday episodes. They don't give us Christmas episodes. Everything is very focused on the plot. And even then, TV shows with short seasons also get those filler episodes and unnecessary storylines. Like I was watching the most recent season of Bridgerton, and the only thing that mattered there was the main story, and that's it. Actually the sisters, the sister story, I forgot her name. Her story also mattered because it's kind of like a setup for the next season. But other than that, the other stories to me were boring. Like I was ready to skip. And with these shows with 6 or 7 or 8 episodes per season, if they don't get those millions of viewers, they're done. They're cancelled.
You guys are psychos! You've seen one too many TV shows!
No! Watching television shows doesn't create psycho killers. Canceling TV shows does!
The number of TV shows that have been cancelled recently seems to have skyrocketed since the boom of streaming services at the beginning of the 2020s. Streaming platforms have filled their catalogs with new TV shows ever since the pandemic, but they barely got 2 seasons due to constant cancellations. According to a study done by Variety last year, analyzing which streaming service has cancelled their shows the most from 2020 to 2023, Max, formerly known as HBO Max, had the highest rate of cancellations with 26.9%. Broadcast television had the rate of 26.6%, and Disney Plus with 21.1%. And surprisingly, Netflix had one of the lowest cancellation rates, with only 10.2%. Apple TV Plus had the lowest rate of all, with only 4.9%. Which kind of doesn't make sense because Apple TV Plus has like a lot of original shows on their catalog, but they don't promote it. But at the same time, it kind of does make sense because they're able to maintain their TV shows due to, you know, the amount of money that they make with their products. So in the month of August of this year, the cancellation of the show My Lady Jane caused a little bit of an outrage, which reignited the discussion of the mass cancellations that has been going on for a few years now. The show had premiered in June and then got cancelled in August, which is less than 2 months for a cancellation, which is just a short amount of time for a show to get noticed. I watched the show for this video and it was after the show got cancelled, and it's actually a good show. Like, it had its flaws, but I could see it getting better. They could have fixed its problems on its second season. Like, one of them for me personally was the narrator. I thought it was kind of like distracting. Also, the show had this like frenemies to lovers trope that I really liked it, but I wish they had more of like a slow burn aspect to their romance as well. Like, they could have taken more time for them to fall in love. That's the problem with short seasons. Like, everything felt rushed. I wish I had more time to, you know, to get to know more of these characters, for me to connect with them and eventually care more about them. And I saw some people comparing the show with The Great, which I kind of see that because of the humor and the incredible costume design that both shows had. But I feel like The Great was better, was greater. They also had the enemies to lovers trope with the main romance, but they kind of did it better. Everything in the show was like better. The Great is one of my all-time favorite shows, and The Great also got cancelled, which is a shame because it was a really great show. Another show that I watched was The Society, which every time I see a post related to TV show cancellations, someone's always bringing up The Society. All the time, every time. I feel like The Society has the most amount of fans mad at Netflix for canceling the show. And honestly, it was a great show. I get it. I get that people are mad. I'm also mad that it doesn't have a second season. And it's a shame that it got canceled. Actually, Netflix actually renewed the show for a second season. And then they canceled it because of COVID reasons. Which doesn't make sense because they could have just delayed like the filming. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Season 2 of The Society. Ah!
Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2 of The Society! Yeah!
Do you know what this means?
More pie?
More fugitive!
More means.
And more answers.
But believe it or not everything is lost when your favorite show gets cancelled. One example of this is one of my all-time favorite shows and one of the best TV shows of all time, Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars got cancelled back in 2007. With the help of its fans, the Marshmallows, who donated money to fund the movie, Veronica Mars got a theatrical release in 2014, 7 years after its cancellation, and even got a 4th season on Hulu in 2019. The Netflix show Sense8 got a 2-hour final episode due to heavy campaign made by its fans. And now My Lady Jane has its own campaign going on, so let's see how that goes.
It's a show about nothing. How do we know when it's over?
I do.
It's like streaming services nowadays expect their TV shows to blow up right after their premiere. And the only ones that actually seem to have this effect are the ones that already have a famous IP. There's also the fact that the most streamed shows are shows from the past. And like, can you blame us? Like, the old shows that we used to watch back in the day are the ones that have multiple episodes and are not getting cancelled and because they're done. And when we do watch a modern show, they get cancelled right away if they're not bringing millions of viewers. Or if they are a major success, we have to wait for 2 to 3 years for a new season with only 8 or 6 episodes. And currently, Hollywood in general is making less and less TV shows. And I feel like we need to just reset the whole system. Like, we need a reset button. I know that at the end of the day, good writing wins, regardless of 20 or 10 episodes or even 6. But I feel like we still need that balance between shows that have 10 episodes and 20 something episodes. We should at least have 10 episodes per season and not wait for 2 to 3 or 4 years for a new season. And maybe shows should start releasing more of their episodes once a week. I feel like it gets the conversation about the show going, and also time. Like, we need to give time for a show to grow on us, for us to grow a relationship with the show. For example, Parks and Recreation was a show that had its problems in the first seasons, but the writers were able to have time to fix these issues, and eventually the show became beloved by millions of people. And that's what we're missing now as well, like time. We don't have time for a show to grow on us. So either that or we're all gonna get DVDs, because I don't know about you, but I'm having the whole subscription fatigue here. We're tired of subscribing to multiple streaming platforms. So let me know in the comments, what was your favorite show that unfortunately got cancelled? Mine were The Society, The Babysitter's Club. Why is no one talking about the cancellation of The Babysitter's Club? And with the Knee. And with the Knee was one of my all-time favorite shows. And it also got cancelled. And Don't Trust That Bee in Apartment 23. You know, it got cancelled 10 years ago, but I'm still hurt. That's all I have for today, bratties. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, and bye-bye. Famous fashion designer explains the difference between fashion and fascism. Next, on Spoiled World.